Greetings, chuckleheads! We've got another one for ya, so let's dig in!
Dear atheist, as a theist, as a Christian, I want to ask you to stop doing 10 things, okay?
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah! 10 things that are no-nos? Alright, I'll get right on that, buddy!
10 things is what I'm imploring you to stop doing when talking to or debating with a Christian, someone like me. First,
Debating someone like you. Why do I get the feeling I'm wearing the wrong hat? Hang on. Alright, there we go.
First off, stop claiming that theists or Christians have the burden of proof for proving God's existence.
If I claim to be able to lift 1,000 pounds with my pinky, it's up to me to demonstrate that I'm able to do that. It's not up to anyone else to demonstrate that I can't. I don't know, brother. You trying to reinvent the wheel or something?
How burden of proof works is anybody making a claim has to back that claim up.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
So if I were to say God does exist, I do have the burden of proof. First off, stop claiming that theists or Christians have the burden of proof for proving God's existence.
Dum Dum.
Yes?
You give me gum gum.
I give you gum gum?
You do Dum Dum. You give me gum gum.
Yeah.
I will have to try to prove that. If you say God does not exist, you are making a claim, and you have to prove that argument right there.
So when asked why you believe in a God, you want to run and hide behind what? An atheist burden of proof? You're like a kid. Nuh-uh, you go first.
Folks, look over here to your right. We have some schoolyard epistemology.
I know someone must have told this knucklehead that atheism, a strict definition of it, is just a lack of belief in a God or gods. It's not a normative claim about what does and doesn't exist. Atheism is an internal cognitive state like happiness. I'm happy.
Prove it.
I can't.
Well, then you're not happy.
My God, what has happened to you? Nurse! Psychological and intelligence scan stat!
Oh no, doctor.
What the gentleman really wants is atheists to make a positive claim that no gods exist. Well, here we go. The reason why I think no gods exist is because theists haven't met their burden of proof. There's no coherent definition of a god. There's the problem of divine hiddenness, the problem of religious selection. How do you know you have the right beliefs or proper religious ideas or practices? The problem of divine trickery. How can you be certain of any spiritual proposition? I am very much open to the existence of a god or gods. I'm actively searching for evidence for the existence of a god or gods. But as of right now, I'm very comfortable saying that God or a set of gods do not exist. Exception! Ooh, it's a bonus round, and I want to have a little fun. So, let me issue the same challenge that Elisha did to the prophets of Baal on top of Mount Carmel. Pray harder. He's God, right? So he should be able to provide sufficient evidence to warrant belief, like lickety-split, no problem. Maybe he's off having a good think, using the John. Perhaps he's on a long journey. Or maybe he's sleeping and you need to wake him up. So pray harder, pray louder.
I have exorcised the demons.
Second thing, please stop saying that Christians have a blind faith. There is nothing about Christianity that requires or even that God asks for a blind faith.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
I don't know there, buddy. Hebrews 11, 1 through 6 explicitly states that belief in the existence in God is required prior to anything, even an evidential path. And then Christ also told Thomas in John 20, 24 through 29 that blessed are those that believe without seeing. Matthew 18:3 states that if you aren't converted into children, there's no kingdom of God for you. Are these verses unintelligible? It seems like blind faith and credulity is numero uno for the Christian God. What's your point of contention here?
We're told in the book of Romans, we're told in Psalm 19, creation bears witness to the Creator. We are told that the conscience and the law is written onto our hearts. And again, those provide evidences of a Creator.
The environment and human morality can be explained by natural means. What exactly is your rebuttal for the scientific theory of evolution?
How blind faith works is non-existence. You put faith in something that you can't see, you don't have evidence for, and I don't believe that's the God of Christian scripture.
Oh, so you can see God, and there is sufficient evidence to warrant belief in a God's existence then.
Matter of fact, with evidence, we have the same evidence. We have creation, we have the conscience, the abstract concepts of thought and love and things like that. So we take these evidences, it's called circumstantial evidence, indirect evidence.
I guess the answer to both my questions is no! Circumstantial evidence is shit! That's why it doesn't hold up in court.
And we find out through abductive reasoning which is most reasonable to attribute this to a God or to material or naturalistic explanations.
Well, we know nature exists, and there's this robust theory that science came up with that explains nature, so...
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here. This is Houston. Say again, please. Houston, we've had a problem.
Let's compare the theory of evolution with the theory of creation.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch...
What? No theory of creation?
Does not compute. Does not compute. Does not compute.
At the end of the day, you got to answer yourself one question. Did mind come from matter, or did matter come from mind?
We know brains or matter produces minds, but a mind producing matter, that's fucking magic, bro. As you can see, I'm the Lord Dog, and here's my universe.
The third thing, please stop denying the fact that you have a worldview, okay?
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
If you're an atheist, you may not have what's called an atheistic worldview, and I understand that, but you do hold to a secular worldview.
It's like you get it and don't get it at the same time. Atheism has no worldview. Atheists do have worldviews, lots of them. And you would be wrong that all atheists have secular worldviews. There are plenty of atheists out there that believe in spirits and magic and all manner of supernatural entities. They just don't believe any gods exist.
One that is not of God and does not have God in it at all. With this worldview, it is not tenable. It is not livable in society because it breeds subjectivity and relativism.
Among the incarcerated in America, atheists are a teeny tiny fraction of the population. Not once in the history of the world has there ever been a war that got started in the name of atheism. The Brazilian Paraha tribe have lived for generations without a God concept in their society at all. I think atheists get along better in society than many religious people do. You're gonna find rotten people in most people groups. Now, do I think the Russian Bolsheviks were good people? Not at all. But that doesn't mean I should castigate all atheists because Bolsheviks were pieces of shit. Now, on the other side of that coin, can religions be something good or a cohesive force for society? Sure. Can they also be divisive, destructive, murderous, and totalitarian? Yep. Every society throughout history has been relative, and I hate to break it to you, but regardless if you're a theist or an atheist, there is no escaping individual subjectivity. The consequences you bemoan is actually baseline normativity.
It doesn't show sacredness of human life like the Christian worldview does, that God created us, me and you, in His image. There's a sacredness, there's a sanctity of life.
That deep regard for human life is part of the very fabric of my moral framework. To me, the sanctity of life is axiomatic, but it's based upon our natural instincts as a social species towards socialization or moral behavior. An atheist naturalist can also be a Buddhist and have a deep regard for nature and life. It is my opinion that you have this snidely whiplash kind of view of atheism and atheists, and you really haven't spent a whole lot of time with actual atheists, have you?
4. Please stop saying evil disproves God. Because at best, the presence of evil would maybe discredit His character. It may show that He's a malevolent God. It may show that He's not loving and caring. But at very best, that is only disproving or discrediting His character.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End the test. Contact, Hawaii contact, 100%.
If you are claiming that God is omnibenevolent, then that God doesn't exist, because you cannot have a God create anything evil if it's all good. That's not an impugnment upon anyone's character. It's simply illogical. Something evil cannot come from something that is all good. Even Jesus will tell you that.
Which again, I could flip that right around on you and show how evil does point to a loving God.
Oh, hell yeah, that sounds really interesting. What do you got?
Five. Stop saying science disproves God. Even when you go to your most notable atheists, they realize, and this was the foundation of the new atheist movement, they realize science cannot disprove God. And so please stop claiming that science disproves God. Like I said previously, you gotta either have mind from matter or matter from mind. Creation explains the concept of consciousness in abstract thought. What is love? How can two people look at one abstract painting or art, one love it and one hate it? Mathematics, all these things, naturalism cannot explain.
You're actually being quite sloppy with your language, but I'm going to be as charitable as I possibly can. First of all, I think you are arguing against the straw man of the century. I've never heard a single atheist say science disproves God. Never. Now, if you are claiming that a God exists, created the universe in 7 days and formed man out of dirt, science might disprove that claim. And naturalism isn't necessarily the same thing as science either. But again, I'm going to be charitable. All those other things you mentioned, science can and has explained. We don't know everything. We're still discovering brand new things each and every day. But science does have explanations for all of the examples that you gave.
Science cannot explain. Science may be able to explain how we use the atomic bomb, but science can't explain if we should. Why should it be used or not used? Science only deals with the natural world, not the supernatural.
Oh, I would love to hear your argument for how Christian theism answers whether or not to use a nuclear weapon. And how do your conclusions contrast with competing philosophies like secular humanism?
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
Which I propose you and I both have to believe in a supernatural, beyond natural world.
So if I'm going to play this game right, I have to look at things in the world that I don't understand, claim causation beyond empiricism, then claim everyone else believes it too. That doesn't sound wacko-crazy to you? Like some Luna Noodle shit? Alright, let me give it a shot. You and I can only believe in the natural world. The supernatural doesn't exist. You only affirm it through self-righteousness. Now what?
6. Again, please stop saying there's no historical evidence of Jesus with Josephus, Pliny the Younger, Tacitus, Lucius of Samosata. You have the Talmud. You have all these authors and writers, plus you have the early church fathers. Please stop saying the historicity of Jesus is inaccurate. Even your notable atheists recognize that, yes, he was a historical person. Please stop using that.
Another straw man or a fundamental misunderstanding of the position? Jesus was a historical figure who was executed for sedition and blasphemy. End of story. The real issue you're going to have is I can grant you all of your sources, except there's not one drop, not one piece of historical evidence that can corroborate the supernatural.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
I have no trouble granting a historical Jesus. I just won't grant the supernatural, including the resurrection.
7. Stop arguing that religion does not provide any sort of scientific advancement. Let me read you off some names. You probably already heard of Isaac Newton, Johann Kepler, you got Louis Pasteur, Ernest Walton, Raymond Damadian. There are numerous people of religious faith that provide scientific advancements, medical advancements, things like that.
We use Arabic numerals in our mathematics. Does that mean Islam invented mathematics? You also seem to forget all the times that religion has hindered scientific progress, namely Christianity. You've committed a sharpshooter fallacy there, buckaroo!
Please stop saying religion doesn't provide scientific achievements, because it does. Number 8. Stop saying and asking the question, who created God, when you have the same problem yourself. We both have to explain the beginning. We both have to explain the origins.
Who created God is a counter-argument for a very specific claim. And the argument goes like this. Anything sufficiently complex requires a designer or a creator. God is complex. Therefore, God has a creator and a designer. Now, if premise 1 and premise 2 are true, then the conclusion naturally follows and the whole argument is sound. Given that most people aren't theologians or cosmologists, I really don't think you need an explanation for the origin of the universe or the origin of life. And I really don't see any need to make any claims about it. My answer to the origins of life and the origins of the universe is I have no fucking idea, and I really don't care. But that doesn't mean I don't have an opinion. I subscribe to the Big Bang and Big Crunch model of the universe, so basically the eternal universe. And as far as the origins of life go, or evolution, I'm not sure about that stuff. I don't know. But if you have a process that refutes evolution and abiogenesis, I am all ears. The reason being is the scientists who have contributed to this theory and understand it way better than I do seem rather confident that they have evidence to back up their claims. If you have some comparative analysis between creation and evolution and abiogenesis, I would love to hear it.
But our Christian worldview provides a better clarity of the first cause than the secular worldview does.
Well, how's this for clarity? There may not be a first cause. And as of right now, there really isn't any logical or scientific contradiction in positing an eternal universe.
9. Please stop claiming that only stupid people are atheists. Please stop saying only stupid people or brainwashed people or indoctrinated people turn out to be theists.
Brainwashing and indoctrination has nothing to do with intelligence, but how much you want to bet? This gentleman's going to conflate the two. Some theists are extremely intelligent. Some theists aren't. Honestly, it's just a mixed bag. And I think the gentleman has just tasted a little bit of salt, and this particular point is him being hyperbolic.
Because he's a whiny little bitch.
Theism has nothing to do with intellect, okay?
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
You have Andrew Kamal, you have Christopher Hirata, you have Rick Rosner. 3 people with some of the highest IQ scores we know of. And they are each theists, okay?
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Please stop saying that theism is only a faith for dumb people. Back your arguments up with stats, with rational explanations and proofs.
You are correct, sir. Within any large group of people, you're going to have a range of intelligence. Some might be smart, some might be stupid. Again, it seems like you've gotten a little bit of flack in the past, and now this is just hyperbole and salt. You're getting a little nitpicky for Jesus. Someone probably told you they thought you were a brain-dead Christian that was raised in the faith and only started to rationalize it after you became an adult. Who knows? That's just supposition on my part.
Try these on.
Look, you crazy mother.
Put these on.
Hey! Stay away from me!
I'm telling you, you dumb son of a...
Finally, number 10. Please stop regurgitating, okay? Now...
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
I understand Christians on the other side, sometimes we regurgitate too, but please do your own research, okay?
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
If Jesus Christ was a real person, if Jesus Christ was crucified by Pontius Pilate during the first century AD, then that is the most important event in the history of mankind.
Jesus' death on the cross was meaningless because he wasn't the Messiah. Jesus did not fulfill a single messianic prophecy, and Judaism's bunk anyway. Prophecy isn't a thing, and double fulfillment is some real bullshit. All 3 of those topics deserve videos of their own.
Because on that cross, Jesus Christ died for my sins and for your sins. To simply just regurgitate and push arguments off because this is what we've heard other people that just hate God for emotional reasons.
Hate God for emotional reasons? You're not talking to atheists anymore.
You will give an account at the end when you die and meet God on why you chose to reject the sacrifice of Jesus. Please stop regurgitating, and I challenge you, look into the evidence for yourself.
Jiminy Christmas! couldn't resist slipping in the hellfire and damnation in there, could ya? Do other hellish concepts like Tartarus, Naraka, or getting swallowed up by Amit, do these bother you? Seemingly all but one of your points can be refuted. Even in that case, some flaws can be pointed out. And for someone who doesn't like regurgitated talking points, it's weird you had nothing new to add to the conversation.